Hello. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Uh, this. All right. All right. Hello and welcome to this beautiful new moon creativity stream. Apologies for the technical difficulties at the beginning. Still trying to figure out how to not look like a weirdo at the beginning, but we're figuring it out slowly. Okay, so this is new moon, August new moon time, and I decided get my hoodie on. Fridays are going to be creative days, so new moon falls in perfect timing this weekend. Instead of doing it on Saturday to give you all a chance to, um, I didn't want to take away your precious Saturday morning time, so we're doing this on Friday as a way to kind of maybe start the weekend a little early or take a break from whatever you got going on. Get creative with me, grab your cup of tea, and maybe learn something new. Maybe just hang out in the chat, have fun, comment below, whatever. So, without further ado, I'm going to let my tea quote guide us a little bit. Start with that. So, a couple of one thing that's on my mind this new moon that I think this quote represents well is when your inner and outer worlds harmonize, your relationships do too. So, let's work on noticing those reflections that come up in forms of uncomfortable conflict or judgment that you might have about a person. And notice that as a reflection of you and me. That's what I try and do. And I'm always trying to get better at taking a first person approach. So, anyway, that's not really why we're here today. We're here to get creative and fun. And Creative Friday, I'm wearing my hoodie because I'm a hoodie gal. And I'm going to work on a. Sorry, I might. I didn't go on mute that time, but I might mute myself occasionally in order to cough that I feeling a little under the weather these days. Not too bad. Not bad enough to not be on here, but I do have a little bit of a cough. So, without further ado, let's get into this drawing project I'm working on for a client. I've done two portraits for her, and now we're working on a holiday card. So, this holiday card is more at the beginning of the process. We're still in sketching phase, so you get to see how I sketch today and maybe give me some tips, learn something from it, give me some feedback. This is a collaborative experience that I'd like to invoke today. So let's breathe. Take a deep breath. Let it all go. All everything that you've done up until now, let it all go. You can come back to whatever you need to after. This is a chance to reset, and have a little fun with me in the chat, in the comments. Let's just hang out. So, here we go. Made a background change based on Apple's suggestion today or last night. And I was like, yeah, you're right. That's a good option. I forget where that was. It was in my study abroad travels, so somewhere in Europe. Do you know where it is? Is it? Have you been there? Small any small world revelations? Does it look familiar, like someplace you have been, whether it's the same place or not? Okay, so we're here. Actually, I'm gonna need to just kind of start over today because I got some valuable feedback from a client and realized I need to kind of start over on the layout changes, which is why we're here. But that's okay. And that's also why I try not to spend too much time on um this stage of the journey. Thank you, Martina Fleur, for helping me remember that. She's the voice in my head that helps me remember that. Just how it goes. So, we're gonna use the rounded edge one, and we're gonna have, so I'm gonna do at least, maybe at least two landscape versions, and then two, oh, portrait versions. And so remember, this is a card. This is a postcard design that I am working on. It's holiday themed. Not too early to work on a holiday themed card. Just takes the pressure off of me, and that helps bring out the best creativity that I can bring. Um, okay, maybe there is a too early point, and that's like right after Christmas. But by this point in the year, it's not too early to get started on a holiday card. So what I like about the sketch ideas that I've kind of come up with so far for this, sorry. Okay. What I like about these on this design is I like this, I'll mark it here. I like this font. It's kind of fun. I like the ribbon. I also kind of like this font with the ribbon over it. And so basically in these layouts, there's a lot more elements because I have both dogs. And this is why I sent feedback to the clients a little bit before I got too involved in a major sketch because I remembered and got the new insight that sometimes you just forget to ask things at the beginning. That this one is only for one dog. So that decreases the amount of elements I need to include in these sketches. And yeah, so we're still obviously gonna have text. Kind of torn between, yeah, the scripty fonts and this font, just kind of this font, the greetings font. And I think it looks really good in this big format and maybe okay in this format. But, so like maybe with just this one dog, we could have him like in the tree if I were to go with that format. Or we go with this format. These are also all landscape. So this format might work better in portrait. So maybe we'll try that. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's sketch. You. I always forget to put on music on these. I always draw with music or something on the background, so it's a little strange to do this without anything. Um, and I might change that shortly. Does anyone have any music recommendations they're liking these days? Um, cool. Welcome. If you're just joining us, please put your tell us where you're joining from in the chat. Introduce yourself. Share why you're joining and where you're from. Okay. And maybe one thing you're looking forward to this weekend, this new moon weekend. Okay. Or one intention that you're letting go of. Okay. So also, so the image that we're going to use for this one is he's got this little Christmassy red and white collar. And he's a poodle, so it just looks like it just adds to the fluff and it's adorable. So we're just gonna pretend like he's um gonna use like this to represent the collar. And we're just gonna do a little representation of Frank. And we're gonna have him in the tree. Okay, so then where would we do the lettering here? So yeah, maybe the tree is kind of the background, and we do like a happy holidays thing here. Not perfect, but it's something. It's actually probably more like that. I'm either gonna need to run downstairs and get another charger, or I'm going to need to end this live early. And I think I'm gonna run out of a little bit of room here. So we're going to use this handy dandy tool. Okay, so kind of to do this first. Okay. We're just gonna start over on this. Oh, this is where you need to rely less on the back button because this linear program, I love it, and also hate that it sometimes messes up my sketches more than I'd like it to, but just forces me to actually use the eraser and not get so dependent on the back button. Decrease my dependency on the back button. Ugh. Getting ready for the burn. Safe travels. May you stay safe, learn something about yourself or the world. No matter what you're doing, stay safe. It'd still be thicker than I want, but we'll make all those adjustments and later layers, later sketches. We're just gonna, they need to be detailed enough that you can tell what style I'm going for, what layout I'm going for, and give the client a really good idea of what I'm visualizing. So hopefully that inspires their creative input. It doesn't really need to be perfect, just needs to get done. And be good enough to show these things. I feel like that end might need a little more depth or width, but we'll work on that later. Uh, and see, look, I'm already learning. I'm gonna do this part first. So yes, I am still, I said I was starting over. I am kind of still using the same idea, just with one dog. And maybe we'll use red here. Um, that's fine. Oh, oh. See, that's what I'm talking about. It like switched me to eraser and then like completely redid everything. Okay, no, stop with the eraser. And the eraser was more user error than tech error, but this is why I either have a hoodie or another kind of arm I actually made. I'll show you next time. I made arm drawing like arm warmer things just from an old pair of socks because I didn't feel like throwing away this really cute pair of socks. Or it had like some cute animals. I was like, well, I'll use them as arm things. There's already a hole in the heel. That could be a thumb hole. I'll show you next time. And the problem is with hoodies is I'm a little warm for it, and so I rolled my sleeve up to a little too high, and it did this to me. I'm gonna breathe and relax. This will obviously not be this close to the end in the final product. So one, I'll show you a way to work around that and make that look more clear. All right, so now I'm going to take this tool and select Joys of Digital Drawing. There. So the thing is, I kind of did like it, kind of did. There. I can adjust where necessary. Again, the idea is not to be perfect. So I just kind of want to show that we'll have a ribbon here. Go ahead and learn from that mistake by doing this part first. We're gonna do this one. Another digital drawing. Easy, easy color changes. Although I guess, color pencils are pretty easy too. They just take up more space. Okay. Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, that time I guess I did all lowercase instead of the capital letter there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, please. Just gonna check over here real quick. Yeah. Okay, so then we're gonna put little Frank here. We're gonna put his little thing there, collar there, holiday collar. He could go below to, might do another one with that option. And I might need to change the color of that for another one. So, yeah, 15 minutes till the end. Let's see. Mm, Time for the headphones to start dying. It's one of those days. Hard to keep everything charged. Downside to digital drawing. Trying to keep everything charged. Good to have a paper backup, I guess. All right. Oh, just to satisfy my ADD brain, and I'll do the same thing again. I'm gonna hop back over here and do another version of this portrait. And yeah, maybe we do a different. Maybe we have him. Oh, I know. We could do something like. That is like, that does not get big enough at the bottom. So, I mean, I guess it could technically work. Um, Star on top because you're a star. Watching this, watching the replay. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you coming from? What's your creative story? Personal, business? Is it a hobby? Is it a business? Is it a wannabe business? What stage are you in? And what's your new moon intention? Okay, so I'm going to. My new moon intention is to, especially when it comes to creativity at least, is to finish these by the next new moon and also maybe a little bit before, but definitely by the next. And also get out a new that shirt design I've been working on. It's finally about there. So yeah, those are kind of my creative new moon intentions. Those are my, not kind of my, working on language. See, it switched me again. I don't know. I guess that was user error. That looks off. Probably maybe do some like maybe this will be a little darker because it's kind of the background. It'll be kind of the shadowed part of the ribbon. I also, instead of having two ribbons, work on getting that to be a little more fluent. And okay, let's do red again. Or yeah, let's do red. Okay. That D and P will need to get fixed, but again, that's for a later conversation. Kind of meant to move that a little bit further down. And here's where it gets tricky to do that. Not just starting over, but maybe we can do the head here. And the feet there. And a little holiday collar there. Combining pet portraits with holiday cards. You want one? Know someone that might want one? Reach out, DM me, or email me at tfay@tashafoget.com. All right. See? No. Whoa, I did not mean to hit undo there. All right. Well, you see what I did there. And that is where I'm gonna end today because that was kind of frustrating and I need a break. Um, Happy Friday. May you have a beautiful and blessed new moon weekend. At least what no longer serves you. Bring in, call in, what the new things that are going to serve you better. Are you making adjustments? Are you completely starting over something in some area? Um, Probably not doing that, actually. But you're awesome. You got this. Thanks for joining me for tea and sketching. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.